The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Dogs. We're at a wet Walthamstow, not just because it was last week voted BGRB Track of the Year, but because it's the final of the Pepsi Marathon. In last week's heat, Flashing Tone was brilliant, and he'll go off favourite tonight. Also on tonight's show, a comprehensive preview of the William Hill Springbok at Wimbledon. But first, it's back to Walthamstow and to what must be one of the most famous landmarks on the London skyline. The track itself was opened by this man, William Chandler, back in 1933. Walthamstow remains family-owned by a new generation of Chandlers and has played host to canine stars ever since. Most were keen to race. This cheetah, not so it seems when he came to the track as a 1930s publicity stunt. Always at the forefront of the sport, Walthamstow was voted Track of the Year for the second time in 4 years at the BGRB Awards.
It was a terrific award to win, and with big thanks to all of our staff here at the track, from catering to marketing to the track staff to the bar staff and the racing office, of course.
And for the Stow trainers, Mick Pusey, Fire Height Dan and Jimmy Reynolds, four-handed. Great really for the track itself.
Oh, it's wonderful, and it was a great night for them too. For Jim, Donna, Sue, Mick, Sue, all of them and all their connections. Really well done. Fantastic.
Well, that was 2004. What can Walthamstow racegoers look forward to in 2005?
Well, first and most importantly to me at the moment is getting the track finished, the new improvements, and I think we're all looking forward to that. So we're going to take that step, and that's been a big financial commitment. So let's take that step first, and that's way up on the most important list.
When do you think they'll be complete?
I think 2 to 3 weeks. That's what I've been told. So obviously little hitches happen now and again, but that's approximate.
And at a cost of, roughly?
It's a bit more than we originally quoted, but then everything always is. But as the figure we told you, it was over £100,000.
And the boss is happy with that? Of course they are.
Yes, of course they are. Everybody realises that this is the most important issue at the moment, and everybody wanted to get this done properly.
Walthamstow's favourite son, Fire Height Dan, was asked to do a lap of honour on Saturday following his Greyhound of the Year award. Both his owners and trainer Mick Pusey jumped at the chance.
Well, that's Walthamstow, isn't it? They wouldn't do anything less than this. And yeah, it's wonderful, yeah. And of course they got their own award as Track of the Year, which is blinding really. You've seen the improvements there tonight. When that's all completed, a week or so's time, yeah, great stuff.
And for Fire Height Dan, it's back to work soon, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been galloping now for nearly 2 weeks. He should trial before racing on Tuesday. If all the inside fence has been taken down, and then he's away.
And Mick, talking about the improvements here, tell us what's going to go on with the track.
Well, we've got a brand new Jeff Seeley hair on the outside of the track now, which is raised, probably 10 inches above ground level. As you see, it's all banked, and the sand now will go from that hair to the new running rail on the inside. So in fact, the track is going to be wider, with easier turn into the first, easier sweep out the second, and nice gradients all the way around. And it'll make it a lot easier for the dogs around here. I believe 1,200 tonnes of sand is going to be laid over an interval because it can't be integrated in one go. And it'll be a great running surface when all this happens.
So what about Saturday's racing itself? The Pepsi Marathon final was a showpiece event of the night, but the supporting card was also strong, with a number of big names warming up the large crowd before the marathon stars took to the track. After some decent performances of late, Ernie Gaskin's FABO went off favourite for the puppy event over 475 metres, sent to traps an 11 to 10 chance from trap 2.
And they're off and racing out towards the first bend. A flying start from FABO in 2-3. Tino Spark wants the rails badly. Then comes 5, Black Bower, showing good pace up. As they go around the first couple of bends, and it's 2. FABO in front, leading here by a length and a half over 5. Black Bower in second place. Then comes Storm Roy racing in third. Bit of progress from Tino Spark now beginning to pick up, but just forced to check there at the third bend. Meantime, up front, FABO. Ernie Gaskin's dog out in front. Up the centre of the track it goes. FABO is clear. Tino Spark running on well for second, and back in third, Black Bower.
A mixed night for trainer Gaskin, who would later lose that grand servant Erinaceous Flyer, nevertheless began well with FABO winning in 28.96. Erica's Equity, a real crowd pleaser, pulled clear to win the Maxi Marathon over 880 metres, while Never Can Tell franked the form of last year's Racing Post Festival Stayers, which she won in the 6th bend event. Here she is coming away to win from Droopy's Cheeky and Ronnie's Flight for Wimbledon trainer Paul Garland. Informed jumper Lethal Rumble was looking to stretch his winning run in the Pepsi hurdle, but the bookies weren't taking any chances, making Linda Jones's dog a 1-3 chance to win.
Off they go for the Pepsi hurdle, and making the beeline for the rails is Kelso's Bruno. A little bit of bother there for 4, Serene Cougar as well. They've jumped the first, and look who's in front. It's Lethal Rumble out in front here from 1. Ballymac Mitch in second. After this comes 2, Kelso's Bruno. Facing up towards the next, and Lethal Rumble jumping it low and flat, going 3.5 lengths clear from 1. Ballymac Mitch after he's improving his 6. Tarny Backle as they come around the final bend, and 5, Lethal Rumble out in front. Could this be the 9th win on the trot? Yes, it is. Lethal Rumble wins easily in the end from Tarny Backle back in second.
No stopping Lethal Rumble once again at the Stowe, the favourite winning from Tarny Backle and Ballymac Mitch to extend his winning sequence, delighting the Jones camp, who've seen him really flourish since being put over hurdles towards the back end of last year.
Yeah, that's 9 on the spin now, and he just seems to have taken to it like duck to water, you know, sort of, it was a decent dog on the flat, but we decided to give him a spin over, you know, over the hurdles, and Jason schooled him for us and said he'd be, you know, he thought it was something special. So
That's Jason Foster?
Yeah, that's right, yeah, and he thought it was something special, and it's proved to be, you know, I think it's quite useful.
So Lethal Rumble thrills connections and those who cheered him on from the terraces. But as always at the Stowe, it's a cosmopolitan crowd made up of punters and those just enjoying a night out.
Well, it's my second time. We live nearby, and it's just a fun night out, basically. And well, it was quite an English experience for her.
That's my first time, first English experience, I guess.
You having fun?
I have fun.
And what's so special about a night of the dogs compared to something else?
Well, I think it's just good, harmless fun. You know, it's great atmosphere, and everyone's smiling, and just it's good to see the dogs around. Can't think of a better night out.
And across at the Classic Diner, a family-orientated enclosure, it's party time. A good family night out, the Walthamstow dogs, yeah?
I think it's an excellent family night out. I mean, it's even for the young as his age, he's only 6, up to I've got one with 16, and they all enjoy it. I've been coming here since I was a kid, so it's really nice for me. I've had hen nights here, birthdays here, everything here, so it's good. It's a good night out.
And the kids are well fed and watered?
Definitely, and we're well fed and watered as well, so.
In fact, they're too fed and watered. I think they're having a great time.
They are having a great time, as you can hear.
Back on track, the runners are parading for the big race, the Pepsi Marathon final over 840 metres. Setting the standard for others to follow in the heats was John Mullins' Flashing Tone, a 2-1 chance as the dogs went to traps ahead of Blues Highway at 3s. It was to prove an absolute thriller.
And they're off and running for tonight's feature, the Pepsi Marathon final. £2,500 the winner. Great start from Flashing Tone on the inside. Goes round in front. Blues Highway seems to get the better of Droopy's Puma there at the first bend. Checking back was Ballyneal Best off the second bend as they head down the far side first time. Flashing Tone in front by 4 lengths here from Blues Highway. Shrugs aside Droopy's Puma. A bit of a roar then as Blues Highway moved into a clear second. Passing the stand, circuit to go. Flashing Tone by 3.5 lengths from Blues Highway. Got a sighter. Then comes Droopy's Puma racing in third. After these comes High Nicholas. They head down the far side for the final time. Flashing Tone still 3 lengths to the good over Blues Highway. A couple back to Droopy's Puma. Trying to make a move now, High Nicholas. Also making a move, Hollywood Dolly. They come round the second last bend. Flashing Tone, gutsy in front. Still with a 2-length lead, but Blues Highway whittling away at that lead all the time as they come up the home straight. Flashing Tone and Blues Highway is going to be on the nod. Close! Oh, so close between Blues Highway and Flashing Tone.
What a finish, but for Blues Highway supporters in the grandstand it was a last gasp victory, and one which they couldn't be certain was theirs as the runners crossed the line. But by the shortest of short heads, it was Brian Clemenson's dog who got there from long-time leader Flashing Tone in a time of 53.67. Blues Highway wins another Stowe title, having won the Victor Chandler Marathon at the Racing Post Festival.
It was close. It's always close with him. He never wins too far in the big finals, but it was due a final. His 2 photos he's been beaten in the last 2, so.
But he seems to reserve his best for Walthamstow, seemingly.
He loves Walthamstow, yeah. There's a key to him. He's a good gambler's dog.
The Saturday night at the Stowe is rarely matched for atmosphere, stoked up, as always, by track commentator Colin Hawes from his perch in the grandstand.
I'll tell you what, you know, do the track commentaries on big nights, really big occasions, the Sky nights, etc. They just love it, the punters here. You know, you must come racing here at Walthamstow. It's one of the best tracks, obviously, grand track of the year this year. But the punters love it. Even the internet, you can get people all over the world, places from Hong Kong, Australia as well, America. They just love the place and love the atmosphere here at the Stowe.
And your commentaries?
I don't know about that, Jonathan. That's on the whole, but at times I do get a bit excited, and as you can probably tell, I've lost my voice over the last week, but that's another matter which you know about.
We share a passion for Chelsea, of course.
Yes, we certainly do.
So an early candidate for finish of the year in the Pepsi Marathon at the track of the year, Walthamstow. Already the best in the business, the Chandler-owned venue in the Chingford Road aims to be even better in 2005.
Coming up after the break, plenty of clues for this year's William Hill Springbok. Leading the way, but Follow Chinook is picking it up. They go head for head over the last. Follow Chinook, Tiggs, Follow Chinook, and Tiggs, I think. Follow Chinook had his head down at the right time. A thrilling finish to the 2004 William Hill Springbok final, with Maxine Locke's Follow Chinook getting the verdict. 2004 may not have been a vintage Springbok, but there's been some notable winners since 1970 that have gone on to win the National. Cologne Flash, Western Pete, Bob Cole, Lemon Chip and Arthur Daly. In fact, when Arthur Daly won the Springbok back in 1993, he broke the track record, recording 27.80, amazingly a time that still stands today. So what makes a good hurdler? Some give the flights just too much respect. Others choose the direct route and ignore the hurdles. While some greyhounds can get it badly wrong. Thankfully, this fellow got up and completed the trial, none the worse for his fall. Back in November, the dogs visited Ray Peacock's kennel. Ray, who's won the Springbok 3 previous times with LENSON Eddie, Fennessy's Gold and Frisco Sir, told us at the time that Arbour Jack would be his long-range fancy for the Springbok. Here's Arbour Jack's recent race at Wimbledon on the 18th of January, running from trap 4, took a bump straight out of the traps and again at the first flight. But plenty of schooling by Ray Peacock paid dividends for Arbour Jack. He went on to beat Druids Classic in trap 1. There was a faller in the race, that was Bright Eagle from Tommy Foster's kennel in trap 3. Let's hear from Helen Addison, assistant trainer to Ray Peacock, and hear her thoughts on the big 2 from the Peacock kennel. Greenacre Tom, but first of all, the winner here, Arbour Jack.
I mean, if he does get out, then it's goodbye to everything else. But, you know, he's got so much pace down the back straight. You know, if he follows you around, he's more than likely going to catch you.
Greenacre Tom, what's his style of running?
Yeah, he's really banging out really well at the moment. Again, he ran last night here in the trial stakes. he missed his break and went round second, and I mean, I think he'll be a good 6'8" dog. He stays very well, so he's another one that can come from behind, doesn't have to get out, come from behind and still pick you up.
Well, here is Greenacre Tom then, winning on the 25th of January and making some good progress around the third bend, sticking to the rails and going past Tommy Foster's New Lawn Native, who jumped a little bit big at times. Greenacre Tom recording 28.52.
Me personally, I would go with Greenacre Tom, but Mr Peacock, the boss, he fancies Arbour Jack. But I mean, nothing between the two of them. But that's the one I'll be walking through, the Springbok.
The dogs were in attendance at the last trial session before the Springbok closed and spoke to trainer Tommy Foster, who's only won the Springbok once with Arrogant Prince. Here's his thoughts on some of his team.
The best hope at the moment I would think would be Kilmarnock Dave, a lot of early. I drew him on the inside, which I think I was wrong. What I shall do with him, I will definitely draw him in the middle. He moved off from the box. Wasn't helping his cause. I think you'll find if he goes from 3 or 4, I think he'll go straight as a gun barrel. And the other fella, New Lawn Native, got a nice bit of early as well. So this fella actually he jumps the first two really, really well. You know, shows early, and in fact, especially the fourth early, he jumps a bit high. Hopefully, you'll iron that out by the heats.
A change in the rules to the Springbok this year and seeding issues has kept Wimbledon racing manager Derek Hope on his toes, as he explained to the dogs.
It's probably the most difficult competition that I've had this year, probably even more difficult than the Derby. We changed the ruling this year, whereas a greyhound had to travel before the 1st of January over the hurdles, and every single Wednesday has just been jammed with hurdle dogs, and actually our trainers have struggled to get their flat dogs trials, but it's been difficult. It's been good, and I think the quality of jumping's improved immensely as the weeks have gone on, which I think is been proved last night in the trial stakes.
The trial stakes and qualifying trials do suggest that this is an above average year, and the man in charge of the front two in the anti-post bedding, Druids Mickey Joe and Farloe Style, plus 8 others, is SEAMUS Cahill.
This year we decided we would have a good crack at it, and we had the right type of dogs, A1, A2 dogs that maybe short a few lengths of being top open dogs, but so yeah, when we started working on them September, October, quite a few of them, you know, showed a lot of promise and that, and from there we went on to either Terry Sullivan's or Ockenden and schooled them further before we brought them near Wimbledon, and yeah, they have progressed very nicely.
Here's Druids Mickey Joe winning in a stunning 28.19 at Wimbledon on the 18th of January. So where was Druids Mickey Joe purchased?
Well, I bought him from Michael Brennan in Dungarvan, and when I spoke to Michael before I bought him, he told me they all had, I bought 3 in a pack, we'll say, and they had all been schooled, and said nice dogs. Well, this dog had 28.58, I think, well, plus the 30 at Cork. And Michael really liked him. He said he was a good class dog and that, and so anyway I bought him, and he got beaten his first couple of races at Wimbledon, and owner probably lost a few pounds as well and that, but anyway he did win, I think at a 3rd attempt, and ran impressively all right, and after that then we went for the maiden derby at WALTHAMSTOW, and he went into the competition. We fancied him, he was a good price, I think 18 to 1 or something, and he posted that. And the owner had a few quid on him again, and he got back his money anyway, and that. He ran very well in the competition without being a real flash winner of that. He ran very determined in that. After that, then it was always in our head to, well, he had been over the hurdles, even up the gallop at that stage, and that. And we always thought a lot of the dog, and in jockey language, I suppose I certainly wouldn't swap him for anything else anyway. Yeah, I think he could be the complete article.
Druids Mickey Joe the quickest so far, yes, but if you're looking for class, then SEAMUS's Farloe Style, runner-up in the 2003 Select Stakes, might catch your eye. Here's Farloe Style beating Kilmarnock Dave on the 25th of January.
One of our favourite dogs, really, and yeah, he's a 4-year-old at this, 4.5 nearly now. So, but he's been a terrific dog for us. We'd have a great nights with him and that, and again, he's a top-notch hurler, really. He's first class. you couldn't fault him in any way. And if Drew's Mickey Joe gets beaten, maybe he might be the one to do it. Lenson Royal, the first day we put him over the hurdles, you knew straight away he was going to be a decent hurdle dog because he just adapted to it straight away. I think he had only about 2 gallops before he went to the track and never had any you know, he was a natural hurler and I think he's a dog that's going to go forward a good bit. All right, he hasn't the time done yet, but I think he will, you know, with a few more races under his belt. But he's a natural hurler. As I said, them 4 dogs at the top there, I'd say they're ready to compete at any level. But the other dogs haven't really the experience of them. They're certainly all nice dogs, but I would think Drew's Mickey Joe is probably the ace in the pack if there is one.
At the time of recording, here are the sponsors' prices for the Springbok. Druids Mickey Joe, then the favourite at 2-1 with Seamus Cahill's other runner FARLOE Style at 4-1. The slow starting Greenacre Tom showing at around 8-1. Culmona Dave 8-1. Pall Mall finalist, of course, now with Tommy Foster. ARBOUR Jack, Ray Peacock's experience there, 8-1. We've also got Lenson Royal at 14-1. Jim Reynolds' only runner, Trojan Flight, after the withdrawal of Slim's Best at 14-1. And New Lawn Native, another one of Tommy Foster's runners that needs to polish up his jumping at around 14-1. 20-1 bar these. William Hills, the sponsors of the Springbok, have very generously given the dogs a charity anti-post bet. Now, despite the flying times of Druids Mickey Joe and the class on the flat of FARLOE Style and Culmona Dave, we're staying loyal with a dog that caught our eye when we visited Ray Peacock's kennel last year. So it's £50 each way at 8-1 on ARBOUR Jack. Any winnings going to the retired Greyhound Trust. A quick glance at the open race calendar. On Thursday and Friday there's plenty of open race action around the country. The 2 main features this weekend take place on Saturday. They are the Mike Allen Trafalgar Puppy Cup final at Oxford and the 6 heats of the William Hill Springbok at Wimbledon. Sunday racing as well, the feature being the semis of the Alan White Coventry Winter Derby. We'll have news from all of these events in next week's programme, but if you can't wait to find out, click onto the results and other features on www.thedogs.co.uk.
Well, it's been another cracking night's racing. Catch up with us next week for a full review of the first round of the William Hill Springbok from Wimbledon.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.